Cluster 7 of the local questionnaire concerns prevention of corruption. It's a very small cluster compared to many of the others. But note that there are questions in other clusters which are also relevant for an assessment of corruption. These include, for example, many of the questions about information availability and transparency in general in land governance, but here you'll only find one unique indicator and question specifically about corrupt practices. Multiple sections of the voluntary guidelines on responsible governance of tenure deal with corruption. It's an overarching principle of responsible tenure governance, and the VDDT also goes into details about how prevention of corruption should happen in policy and decision-making processes, in the delivery of services, in the allocation of tenure rights, particularly in relation to customary tenure systems and informal tenure, markets, redistributive reform programs, and processes related to expropriation and compensation, in the recording of tenure rights, in taxation administration, spatial planning, and in dispute resolution processes. So it really cuts across the entire VDDT, these references to how states must prevent corruption. From a human rights perspective, transparency is a key human rights principle and essential to the human rights-based approach to development. In the online version of the local questionnaire, I'll click on Cluster 7, Prevention of Corruption. There's only one question here, and it concerns whether the respondents were asked for a bribe or if they know people who were asked for a bribe when trying to access a land-related service in the last year. The intention is to try to find out if corruption is common, not to document individual cases or definitely not to capture the names of individuals